everybody. My name's Craig.
I'm Brian.
I'm Burke.
And I'm Michelle.
And this is Get Dunked On, the podcast.
Somebody kill me. I got me singing that song.
I didn't mean to influence you on this one.
That's all I can think about now. Like, I literally had a different song lined up, and now that's all I can think of is that song from Adam Sandler.
Perfect. That's exactly what you want.
To be fair, though, like, it's been one of those sort of like couple weeks here, and all because I made one decision. Okay, so I was presented with this opportunity to run a triathlon this year, and so I was like, well, I'm not gonna get any younger. I'm never gonna be able to, I'm not gonna be able to run a triathlon at different points in my life. I'll never have the time or whatever, the opportunity to train for it. So I'm like, I got the time now. I'm gonna do this thing. But it feels like the universe wants to kick me in the teeth every time I try to do this triathlon, like to do anything for the triathlon, I should say. So the first thing I did was like, well, obviously I don't want to do this alone. I want to do it with some friends. So I sent the message out to a bunch of the people that I live close to. And I'm like, hey guys, do you guys want to get together and run a triathlon with me? Literally, they have never responded to text messages so fast in the entire like 18 years that I've known them or whatever it is. They're just like immediately just like, no chance. And it's a hee-haw. I'm like, son of a bitch.
At least you got responses.
Well, that's just it. It was the fastest I'd ever seen response. So, okay, fine. You know what? And then I make this resolve that I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to run this thing myself. So I go to my gym and I start doing my treadmill thing, and because I have to run indoors because it's the winter in Michigan and it sucks. So I start running and I notice my hair is so long it's actually jabbing me in the eye, and I'm like, okay, at least I can correct this problem. I can go get a haircut, and then once I get my haircut done, this stuff won't bother me anymore. I get my hair cut. I go to the gym today, and I do my routine. I did today was what? I biked 6 and then ran 3, but it was I biked 6 and then immediately ran on the treadmill and then like ran 1 and then like ran. I'm building up, but you get the point. I do that, and I'm like, man, this new haircut is great. Things are turning around for this thing. I get back and I start talking to my dad. He looks over at my hair. He goes, God, you got a shitty haircut. Your hair looks awful. I'm like, oh, I'm like, cool, Dad. Thanks. Real confidence booster. I'm like, every time I do anything for this fucking thing, it's a disaster. So I just didn't know if you guys have ever been thwarted for trying to do something good. Like if you've ever like had one of those things where you're trying to better yourself, you're trying to do something, and that you deem as to be like, okay, this is a good productive thing, and yet somehow the universe just keeps kicking you in the teeth for doing something good for yourself.
I feel like that's just an overarching theme for any time I try and better myself.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I'm going to go through and do this. And they're like, well, life just kind of looks at you and goes, yeah, but what about this? And send something not like horribly shitty, but something that is definitely like, oh yeah, I can't do that now. I don't have the ability because I have to do this first. This is more important in some way. Maybe not necessarily like, oh, more important in the long run, but it's, I would very much like to keep making my mortgage payments, so I have to do this first type stuff.
Gotcha.
I can't think of a specific right off the top of my head, but I'll try and see if I can think of one.
Anyone else been kicked in the teeth recently by that?
Oh, I swear it's been me trying to get up to the mountains to snowboard. I have yet to go this year. One, because the snow's been so shitty, like this whole year. Like we finally started to get snow, and there's finally like more than fake snow on the mountain. So I'm hoping to go this weekend unless something fucking comes up. But like over Christmas was like the one time I was like, yes, I can go snowboarding. We got a lot of fresh snow. Let's go. And my cousin ended up coming instead because like his family got so sick, and they're like, yeah, come see it. I go, you can come here for Christmas. And he shows up, and I was like, okay, cool. I was like, so I told him, I was like, I will buy your lift ticket. Like all you have to do is buy the rental, which is like $20-$30 if you know where to get the stuff. He's like, no, I don't want to hurt myself. And I'm like, it's fucking snowboarding. You're gonna hurt yourself. Come on, let's go. He's like in his 20s. I'm like,
in his 20s?
Let's go. He'll survive.
I'm like, come on. Like I was like,
in your 20s, you're supposed to feel invincible. Like that's the rule of the 20s. I thought.
I know. I was just like, what's wrong with you?
What about you, Michelle?
I can't think of anything specific. I mean, there's probably one in progress. So last night at work, I spent a lot of time completely redoing this like section of merchandise. So I have and it looked beautiful and it was perfect, and I took pictures of it because I was so proud. And I have a feeling that tomorrow morning when I go into work, I'm gonna cry ugly tears because it's probably not gonna be like that anymore. So I don't know if I've been kicked in the teeth yet. That's oncoming.
We're just assuming it's going to happen.
If you had to guess, that's the answer is yes. Okay, I'm with you. Yeesh. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, shame on me, I guess, for trying to do something competitive for once.
Yeah, that's shouldn't ever try and do anything competitive, Brian. Ever. Dude, just halt it right off the bat.
Well, speaking of competitive, I know we played some games last weekend, and we were trying to get my rank in Overwatch in competitive. And I seriously felt like the universe was just fucking us. I don't know if you remember if this counts. If this counts as a quote sport, yeah, sure. I'm counting this because my God, was it just bad? Like I was like, it was the three of us, and we all get in a game. We're like, yes, we finally have time. Let's play. And our teammates,
anything that could have gone wrong did. I remember that. Yeah,
it was like, and then I was like, okay, let's play Halo. And I just went over there, and I was shitty too. And I was like, this is not a good weekend. Yeah,
unfortunately, sometimes you get into those weird like moments where you're like, oh, well, I'm just going to play some games, and then literally everything just falls apart around you. And, you know, maybe you're losing because of your team. Maybe you're losing because of the situation. Maybe you're just not playing well. But no matter what happens, it don't feel good to lose, guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, you know, like we play so much like, you know, casual and whatnot. But I was like, all right, I feel good. Let's do this and just get fucked.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
I was doing the math earlier today. Actually, I've resigned myself to just know that I am always going to be top 25 to top 15% in a game. If I like actually sit down and try and play it competitively, I'll never do better. I will never be able to push myself past that spot, though. I will never become a professional player of any form, semi-professional, none of that. I literally went in through all of the ranked things that I could find online where you could see like the distribution by rank. And by God, dude, I was within that same 10% range for every single one of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. And I'm about the same. I didn't do research, but I know where I stand with Craig. And I know some of my stats off the top of my head. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much where I sit. And obviously I know, Craig and I did the competitive speed running, which is a little bit different, and we did really good there, but it's a little bit different than just straight PvP.
It's not as competitive in terms of there's not as many people, so it's a smaller sample size. True. I guarantee you, if everybody played it the same way that we did, I'd still somehow be that 25 to 15%. Fuck me, I can't ever break into like, hey, you're pretty good at this game.
I mean, everyone's trying to break into that top thing there when they play the competitive scene. Some people, will if a game either A doesn't have it, or B, more importantly, if it does have it, not everyone has the drive to want to be in that competitive scene. Going back to our Overwatch example, I don't know where I sit in the grand scheme of Overwatch. I know that I'm decently pretty good. Being at over 3,000 for the past.
What's your rank?
Currently 3,000.
Yeah, like what's your standard kind of rank that you've hit normally?
Well, a little above 3,000 is kind of where I sit. Number. Right now, I'm at 3,092 is where I'm at right now at this exact moment in time.
You are top 15%.
Hey,
there you go.
Look at that. What do you know? But aside from that, like if you look at my stats for any other game, I am not going to be anywhere close to that. I'd probably be right at that, like, Craig's top 25%. I would be at that bottom 25%. Like I'd be 25% or like,
I'll give you the 50%. You're not that bad, Brian.
Yeah.
You're not
depends
that
on
bad.
the game. But yeah. But today, Go ahead.
Go ahead. I think we were both going to transition. So
Yeah,
let's
I
do it
think we
together,
were,
Brian.
yeah.
Let's try. It's not going to fucking work.
Okay, we're going to talk at the same time. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Today we are going to be talking. Okay.
Damn it.
It's all right. No, it's fine. The point is that today we're going to be talking about esports, both our personal experiences with esports, if we are currently trying to be competitive in any games, and more importantly, what we think of esports as a whole, as an organization, things we like, don't like, and things we see, trends, etc. So we kind of have a lot to go over today. So I feel like out of all of us, Craig, you said that you had done the most research on your own personal statistics. So if you want to lead us off, kind of talking about your experiences with esports, and then we'll kind of bounce it to Michelle and so on. So.
First time I ever heard of any esports was Halo, Halo 2. I didn't know about competitive Halo 1 at all. Like, I knew people did tournaments and stuff, but I didn't think of it like, oh, this is a competitive thing. This is like people are going to get together and do a league and do consistent matches against each other and shit like that. So I kind of just went with this. I had this amazement when I found at the time, which is still around, but at the time, a Halo staple was Major League Gaming. I was like, holy crap,
Yep.
What is this? And I found the Major League Gaming website and started looking around. I was like, oh my gosh, people play this game competitively. Because I remember, this is something small. I remember us playing a lockout game, Lockout Slayer in Halo 2, Brian. We are at your house and we are all making fun of this other team because the team chat's on, you know. And I remember hearing them talking, they're like, L1, L1, L2, L2 up. You know, they were like calling people out on the map. And we were like, oh my gosh, what a bunch of nerds. And we lost. We got absolutely hammered because their entire team was talking. Whenever you went by anybody, you heard them talking and whatnot. And I remember just thinking of it now. I was like running around top mid, which is one of the worst things you can do on that map.
Yes.
And so it just was. I'm looking back at it now. I'm like, wow, that was something. But I mean, that's what got me into playing. Like, hey, let's actually try and play this and win a lot, and not just hey, we'll play and have fun. And of course, we want to win, but and that started down that road.
And of course, now when we play, it's always, there's always one of us talking, doing some sort of call out. Yeah.
Now,
it's pretty
cool. Craig, do you have any MLG or I guess any esports that you currently follow, or like specific teams that you still follow or anything like that?
Absolutely not.
Okay, no, I'm just curious. I don't
follow anything nowadays. Technically, I'll turn it on if like there's an Overwatch League thing on. I might turn that on, or if I see the tweet or the Twitch alert that the Halo Championship Series is going on, I might click it on. But I'm so far removed where I don't understand what they're doing. I technically would do it with Rocket League, but I'm still I'm lost during that, trying to watch and keep up with them. I get the general idea, but like it's completely different from like if I'm watching a baseball game where I go, all right, obviously I do not understand it at the level that these guys do, but I can follow what they're trying to do and see when things are good, when things are bad. Like I have to watch 19 replays and have someone break down gameplay afterwards on esports now for me to be able to figure out what's going on.
Okay. How about you, Michelle? What was your introduction to any sort of esports?
I'm going to be the negative one this whole podcast. So my first thing was, I guess, I'd heard about a tournament, and like, I have never ever like been anywhere in top 50%, for players for games. I don't care to be. I just want to have fun with a game. So I've never been like a super competitive person, but there was a tournament going on for, I think, Guitar Hero or something like that. And I was not amazing at it yet. It was still when the game was pretty new too. But I was doing, better than most people I knew. So I was like, I'll enter like the mid-level tournament because they had a bunch of different stages. And that experience got ruined for me because a bunch of people who had already like pretty much blown through the game on expert and like were like the best players, in the local area, decided that they didn't want to enter in that highest rank on the chance that they would lose.
What do you
So
mean?
they
Wait,
entered-
I'm sorry. They did not
So,
enter
like,
because they were
yeah,
afraid
so
of
like,
losing.
you know, there was like, yeah, so there was expert level, medium level, like whatever, and I just entered the medium because that's where I was like doing
Oh.
pretty well, and they decided, well, we don't want the chance to lose the expert, so they put themselves in the medium.
Well, that's bullshit.
So, and I'm telling you, these are people who were
That
playing like
sucks.
literally like 16 hours a day, you know, like had no life otherwise, had completely like destroyed the game, and that completely ruined that experience because it was like, you know, that's like putting little leaguers against like a high school team, and like it was just like, so that just ruined that experience for me. So I was like, well, I'm never entering a tournament again. And then any kind of esports and pretty much any competition in general, whether or not it's even video game related anymore, League of Legends single-handedly ruined all of that for me.
Now, I got to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever watched a single game of League of Legends. So why would that ruin it for you? Like, I don't understand.
The game is I had a lot of fun with the game.
I've never played
When
it, so
I
I
was
mean, you have
playing
to
with friends-
and you got to explain the game for everyone at home. I'm sorry.
It's a MOBA, tower defense. You know, you blow through the towers, try to get through their base. You know, like Dota 2 and Smite and a few others that are out.
It's like
No,
that
no,
game
no,
we played one time.
Yeah, no. I mean, like,
Okay.
I know what it is, but I'm saying like for the people at home, just so they all understood. That's I just wanted to explain it. So, but go ahead.
So I mean, I had fun with the game itself. When I first started playing it, you know, we'd play bot matches, which obviously like nobody takes seriously. And then like we were playing like casual matches, and like, you know, it was fine. And the game wasn't super like it was getting really popular when I was playing, but it wasn't as big as it is now. And the thing that ruined it for me there is the game started getting so big. First of all, they make it every season. They change, I don't know, I guess I think they call it the meta. And that's basically how you're supposed to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's frustrating because what they'll do is they'll make it so certain characters are completely useless. Like, it's like
they'll buff
you
them and nerf them
absolutely
and all that
can't
sort of
play
thing.
those characters at all. And they'll make other ones that are super stupid. And my thing is, like, if I'm playing a game that has, you know, a choice of 100 characters for me to play as, all 100 of those characters should be completely viable if I'm doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, I see what you're
And
saying.
they make it so it's not like that. They make it so you're literally wanting to play with the like very, I don't know, like 5 specific characters out of the 100. And the gamers themselves are just, I mean, I feel like it's just bottom of the barrel. Like, you know, I mean, like
Well, no,
people can mess around, but it's just like they get on there and it's like you make one wrong mistake and you're going to get 75,000 messages about how you should kill yourself and never play video games again because you missed.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and
I
it's
mean,
just like people
yeah.
take it so freaking seriously. And I'm like, it's just a fucking game. And I'm like, and if you want to take it that seriously, play the ranked. I'm like, so why are you in like this literal, like, it's a, like, they'll create these random stupid ass modes that are, you know, complete nonsense. And like, it's supposed to be nonsense. So you think it would be fun, but then people take it seriously and it's like, guys, why are you doing? So honestly, I hate competitive gaming. I absolutely despise it. I've played a lot less multiplayer games in my life since then. And even with like things like board games, I've been like, I'll still play games that are, you know, quote unquote competitive, but I've strayed more to cooperative games because of all that. And I think esports are total horseshit.
What do you mean, like cooperative board games?
So
Or,
I have,
like, do you have an example?
I have board games that are cooperative.
The
Yeah.
one we played.
Yeah. So one we played, when I was in Michigan, Brian and Angela had joined us. And my sisters, I think, yeah. It's
your
called
brother.
Hanabi. So you have these cards with numbers and colored fireworks on them, and you work as a team to try to build the fireworks up by giving each other clues. It's like you have a hand and you can't see it, everybody else can, and they give you hints about what's in your hand, and you have to try to build the fireworks that way. And you play together and you lose together. It's not. So, and I have I have another board game called Ghost Stories, which is a 4-player cooperative game. There's boss cards, and you try to beat the boss cards, and if you don't beat them, you all lose. So, and to me, that's become much more fun because, like, you know, people aren't complete assholes the whole time.
Well, going off that, and it's just kind of when it comes to esports, my introduction to them was similar to that of Craig, which was just through that of Halo. But since then, I've kind of like dabbled in and watched and gotten a little bit of a handle on a few other different areas. For example, obviously Halo, Overwatch, another big one. Competitive Pokemon. So I really got into say watching and trying to understand the VGC and all that sort of thing. How they have that set up, and a few other little ones here and there, just kind of like dipping my toe in without going too crazy into it. And when you were talking about how the metas are always shifting and whatever, and everyone's always on that is a very big part of competitive play. And I don't think that's something that a lot of people understand that just watch casually. It's that the games are always changing behind the scenes with buffs and nerfs and whatevers, which is one of the big reasons why Pokemon is not taking that seriously at the competitive level. Meaning, it is within the community, but beyond that, nobody can really take it seriously because they don't do updates. Like they don't balance out stats for the different Pokemon. So you always end up with like the same 18 guys showing up every single time, and then until a new generation comes out. And it's really like frustrating to watch and play because you're like, well, if I literally don't draw from this one pool, you're going to get steamrolled every time. So it just becomes kind of stagnant and boring. Although obviously everyone knows the few outliers, like when Sejun Park won it with a Pachirisu a few years back. That was
legit.
Oh my god! No. Like you know what I'm talking about? Esports moments? No. Esports moments. Like seriously, like like it's like watching any good sports
totally
like play or thing, right? You're watching like okay, what was the one a few weeks ago? Oh my god, it was the Saints and who was it? The Vikings. The Vikings obviously had that big moment where they threw it for 60 and got the touchdown as time expired to beat the Saints, and it was like a big deal in sports. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Dude, I totally do.
Okay, it was a thing, damn it. Yep. It literally was like top number one on trending on YouTube for like days. I mean, whatever. It's a big deal. Whatever.
So this was a championship game from 4 days ago.
You did. Okay, yeah.
I like, but did I watch it? Have I seen any video on it? Do I really give a shit?
Right.
No, but I did know about it because I have.
My point is that like there's big moments in that sort of thing, and that's why like in the Pokemon one, for example, like the guy who brought the one weird thing that ended up tanking a Draco meteor from like a Garchomp. It was like this huge moment, and everyone was like, "Holy shit!" Like just it blew the doors off the game. But anyway, whatever.
Just FYI, we weren't laughing at your story. We were laughing at Burke jumping in like he knew what was going on.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Just making sure that you didn't feel like all three of us were laughing at you. We're laughing at him because we know he has no clue what's going on.
But like in
Pokemon.
No. But I'm just telling you those like quick little mini things just to just basically make mention of and give validity to what Michelle was saying, that sometimes watching esports can be boring, especially if you aren't up to date on the metas and you take it the way that as she was saying there.
So, I mean, that's exactly what I was sort of saying earlier with just I don't really keep up with it. I could watch Halo a little bit and probably pretty quickly figure out like, oh, okay, this makes sense, because they really don't balance things out in Halo that much. They've had the formula for so long. Yeah. I mean, they've balanced things over the years. Halo 1, untouched. Halo 2, I don't know if you guys remember pre-patch Halo 2, like beatdowns basically felt like you were like hitting someone with a soft pillow.
Yeah.
Like they did nothing. Any melee you did was like very low damage, and then they changed it to be quite a bit of damage, So they changed things here and there a little bit. Obviously, it's a lot different because everyone has access to the same moves at all times. Everybody has access to the same guns. So there's not a lot of like changing on that kind of stuff comparatively to a Pokemon or Overwatch. Let's say Pokemon was able to adjust things on the fly.
They are, but they just don't.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
If they were willing to actually adjust things on the fly.
Because that's why it's
everything would be changing, just like Overwatch, where it's like every week you have to change something because you're like, hey, let's just give this character one more bullet that comes out of his gun when he fires. Mm-hmm. And you turn, you're like, oh, wow, he's at a 97% pick right now because you have to have him. Well, fuck, we don't want that. Let's make it half a bullet, and then it's like, oh nope, he's not used anymore. You're like, well, fuck, what the hell am I supposed to do? Let's get creative. Let's change this person to counter that. Oh wait, now that made person C over here super powerful. Like, what the fuck? There's too many things.
Yeah.
So like that's where I'm at, where I go, I don't know all that shit that's happened. Halo I could probably get back into because like it's just everybody has the same guns, same weapons, same access. Spawns are symmetrical. Like everything is completely even in terms of like.
But that's
being
a
able
mechanical skill versus
Yes.
a game knowledge skill, and which
Yeah.
is fine. Which
No,
is
no,
fine.
that's what I'm saying.
Like a
That's what I'm
CS:GO,
trying to-
for example,
That's what I'm trying to explain to you,
Okay.
Brian. Is I could jump into that easier because I would understand everything right off the bat. I would not be able to get into the Overwatch thing because I could come in, watch for half a second, be like, oh, cool. I come back the next week and it's like, oh shit, they changed everything. I don't know what's going on anymore. That's where I was trying to say I was.
No. And I get that. I do. And like that's why a lot of people like CS:GO, for example. That's a huge draw. Like, gets tons and tons of views and all that stuff, but then they don't really change much because it's literally just are you mechanically better than the guy next to you? I mean, don't get me wrong. The other ones are still, you have to be mechanically great, obviously, but it's the ability to be mechanically great, adjust, and then, adjust, adapt, learn new people and all that sort of thing. So it's interesting, but, Burke, I don't think we covered your, introduction to it. I'm sorry. We kind of got, derailed.
Yeah, no worries. Like, but I do want to say, like, I agree with Craig fully in your last little section of points. Like, I wanted to speak to that, but y'all hit everything I wanted to say. So, yeah, like I like, but I agree with Craig. Like I can't do Overwatch. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, I've played Mercy.
Okay,
that's it. And there's a reason, because I'm like, I like the way she plays. I don't care. So when you go to competitive, I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. All right. Anyways. All right. So how did I get into esports? I obviously, like, I remember the first tournament I played in. It was for a free copy of Halo 2 or something. At your local GameStop. It was one of those little things, and I think I win? No, I got second place because the guy who or no, it wasn't Halo 1 tournament. They had a pre-release of Halo 2, and a guy had a cracked Xbox. And he had already played Halo 2, so he knew all the mechanics, so he had the advantage. That's the only reason I lost. But anyways, so that was like my first, oh my god, this is a tournament? I can win something to play video games? Fuck yes. And then I didn't do much of it until, like, I guess the same time y'all got into MLG and doing Halo tournaments. Like, and watching all that stuff, because, like, I wouldn't play with y'all, and I wasn't at y'all's level, but I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. People are good. And, Walshy, fuck yeah. So,
Oh no,
hey, you had your
blast from the past.
I'd say had you fragging like a pro, huh?
dude, yeah, like, and we did all of our fun little montages, and just, it was just, I think for me, it was just because it was Halo 2. And that's really what got me into it. I've followed it here and there since then, but not much. Like, if there's nothing else going on or nothing on TV I want to watch, like, and I see that there's a HCS tournament, I will turn it on just because they're watching these people play this game. It's just incredible.
So I guess here's another thing to bring up then. It sounds like we're all kind of we're at the either casual watch to basically not watching for the most part. Some people are, obviously there's a huge community for it. That's why it exists. A lot of money and all that goes into it. But would you be more interested in, let's just say there was a local team for you? Like, for example, let's just say specifically, Craig, right, 2 blocks over, you know that there is the Nashville Warriors, and they are the greatest or newest Overwatch team or whatever, but they're from your hometown basically, or where you're living, you know what I mean? Would you be more inclined to watch at that point? Or is it literally just it doesn't matter what it matters more about the game, and it matters more about that? Or you're like, nah, forget it, esports are not my thing?
It all depends upon the game. If I get into something, I'm going to watch it. Doesn't matter what type of game it is. There was a time there where I turned on every Rocket League tournament when I was like first coming up and figuring out how to play Rocket League, right? So I did that a lot. And but like, if there was, like you said, 2 blocks down was the home base of the Overwatch Nashville Warriors, I still wouldn't tune in. And if I did tune in, I wouldn't have any more. I wouldn't like them any more than any other team.
So you wouldn't root for them just because they're local to you? You would just root for whoever you felt like, or wouldn't root at all?
I probably wouldn't root for anybody. Like, I would need to get into the game and start liking individuals for me to start rooting. It's so different from being ingrained and indoctrinated like you are into sports, because it's something that you grab from your. You grab. I think it's more of you grab it from your family than anything. That's just my thing. Yeah. Or you grab it from your community.
There it is. No. I got to stop you. That's exactly what I was waiting to hear, because I think that with today's kids and coming into adults who are watching this stuff and it's becoming more and more a thing that they watch, it's something that they will begin to pass on as well. I'm wondering if this is going to become the next sports in that regard, potentially.
It'll be something in my head. It'll be something that technically our children, our generation's children, will pass on to their kids. I don't think there's going to be a overhaul from our generation to the next one. It'll be next change.
I think it'll be
the
like
guard.
the millennials will be their first. Their kids will be the first ones who are really.
That's what I'm
into
saying. It's the people right after us.
Like I know we are millennials, but we're on that front edge, and there is a. Towards where, when people say millennials, what do you think of?
Yeah, I'm right with you. I think it's going to be, we're not going to teach our children. Our children are going to teach our grandchildren who they'll inherit the teams.
Now, I guess that brings up the you said about the players and like you wanting to be like enthralled with a personality sort of thing. Like, for example, we know the name Walshy, and that's probably the first name that you think of when you think of Halo. Maybe it is. I don't know.
I thought of the ogres.
Well,
Ogre
the Ogre
1
twins.
and Ogre 2.
Okay.
Those were the ones I thought of just because they literally, when I was driving home from work today, I was like, okay, we're talking esports tonight. And the first thing I thought of, because I started thinking about my introduction into esports, and the ogres are the first ones that come up just because of how much they were the staples of Halo. Like, it was Halo 1 to Halo when the Master Chief Collection. They still played 5 though, didn't they? No, they never played 5. When the Master Chief Collection came out, they were playing that still. So literally from 2001 to 2014, they were playing competitive Halo. So that was the first name that I came up with, though.
For me, it's Walshy because he's still involved. He's one of the announcers now. So
sure, I always think of Neighbor. Remember Neighbor? So only because I remember watching an episode, watching one battle they did. Was at Battle Creek or whatever it was. And literally, he grabbed the sniper and he got a kill-tacular. And I was like, on professionals, he got a kill-tacular. He's the greatest player of all time. Like, I just was blown away by that. Okay, so with that being said, we kind of have it's a gauge on that sort of thing. So, but you do think that it is going to take off, or you think that it's a fad?
No, I think it's already taken off, and it's more than a fad right now. I think it's going to be a permanent structure. I was just talking about, you were just saying when you pass it down to your children. I just don't think the overall, I'm not saying there's not going to be, the overall, there's not going to be passing of the torch from teams from our generation to the next.
Right.
It needs to be in the kids' mind their entire life type thing. Like, some of the kids are being born now with our generation, things like that. So I just don't think it'll be a huge thing, and I don't think there's going to be as many people into it as there might be the next generation that grows up with it the entire time, and it's always been there. Like, yeah, of course there's professional video game players. Why wouldn't there be?
Well,
when we have that generation, they're the ones that are going to be passing it along.
Well, you look at Twitch, for example, and you see that not every, but a lot of professionals are now streaming on Twitch, and they generate what they call meme teams, and those are the things that are getting the viewers. It's professionals that get together and play and have a personality. Now, granted, there is not, and I hate to say this, there's not a lot of personality on a lot of pro players. They are, sadly, very game focused, which is great. But they have no personality, and it's because of that I think it's a lot harder it's like a bigger barrier to entry to many, because it's like I can't be relatable, and you can't like, man, I'm gonna root for the Dallas Fuel, because like, you have to be able to like the people that you're rooting for. And I don't know, I think they need how do I explain this? I think that esports in general needs Michael Jordan. They need the player that is so unbelievably good that literally it draws in people who never had watched a game of basketball in their life to go witness this miracle man, Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what they need in esports to like.
I guess
hit
I'm
that
confused.
next like level.
I guess I'm confused because you're talking about a personality, and then you went right to like, oh no, but they need to be mechanically good.
Both. You need to be both. You can't just have a mechanically good or a good personality. You need to have both. You need to be the Michael Jordan. You need to be that bombastic, amazing.
We need to have a conversation about Michael Jordan's personality, because
he was a dick, but he drew people in because everyone wanted to see him.
He was a dick, but he wasn't even that outspoken of a dick. It just was because he was so good. That's why people came to see. But I think your statement's false in general.
Okay.
Because there are plenty of sport, and I understand we're in a different spot, but there's plenty of sports fans that have no clue about the players' personalities right now. So I just know that that's not going to be the thing that gets people there. They're going to like the thing because they like the thing. I think it's just more of a societal, no one takes, as a general whole, not a lot of people take the competitive gaming like serious as a sport. I think that's more of the stop from having this like, oh, like everybody's getting in and watching it. It's definitely growing, and it's growing more and more and more and more.
It is.
I just don't think it's going to matter, because you sit there and you ask anybody about their favorite team, sports team or esports team or whatever it is, like somebody that's what they do is they love watching this game, whatever it is, baseball or Overwatch or whatever. And then you ask them about one of the players on that team, and when they do something, they're gonna put it's gonna be the rose-colored glasses there. What's the term I'm looking for on that?
No, you got it. Rose-tinted glasses.
There we go. They're gonna look through it and they're gonna go like, they see him just smiling and playing around with that guy. He's just a fun-loving guy. And then the person that's watching it from the other side, watching it from the other team's perspective, is gonna be like, you see him? He's not fucking taking this seriously. What a dick! Like everybody's just gonna see it that way regardless. It's just they just see it how they want to see it. And I'm completely and utterly guilty of that as well. Every person that has just this unreasonable love for a team that they have actually no connection to outside of I've watched them. It just kind of ends up happening. So I don't think it's a personality thing is what's going to bring it. It's just going to be a societal people taking esports more seriously. I think that's just the biggest thing.
Okay. I guess I could see that. So, yeah. What about Michelle, I got to pick on you one more time. So you hate esports, you said, is your exact words, I believe.
Yes.
So let's just say that you had to pick one esport to watch. Okay. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, you need to watch the entire competitive season for it. So let's just, I don't know how long they normally last, but let's just say you have to watch it any game though, what would you choose?
Mario Party.
There's no esports with Mario Party.
Well, I'd make one. You didn't specify that it had to already exist.
A pre-existing one. Come on
say
now.
That. You can't change your question. No, I would make it something that would be entertaining to watch. And that would be something that would be more entertaining to watch to me. I could care less about shooting games. I could care less about MOBAs. I could care less
Smash
about...
Brothers?
No. I have not enjoyed playing Smash Brothers since Melee.
Wow, really?
Really.
Even the new ones?
I did like Smash on Wii U.
Yeah, it was good.
As a decent game. But it's also because I had fun with it by myself, which was the most, important thing to me. And that was the case with 64 and Melee too, is like, I had a lot of fun playing by myself. I didn't need other people to make the game fun. Brawl was terrible.
Ooh,
for
really?
that, yeah.
You went out the subspace embassy.
Didn't think it was fun.
No,
Nope.
not NBC, MSC, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hating on my boy Wolf, I see. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah. But no, I honestly, I just don't care. Now, it's weird because, like, I think that esports should be given, I don't want to say equal respect as regular sports, but, like, you know, people who are like, oh, these kids in these, you know, these fucking games, this is awful. It's really, I mean, to me, I don't see a difference between somebody sitting and watching Overwatch versus somebody who's sitting around watching football. Like,
Right.
It's equally, you know, whatever. And I don't think people should have a problem with it in that aspect. It's just not personally something that I enjoy.
Oh, I get that.
I gotta say, I disagree with you on one thing, Michelle. I think that esports athletes, like, if you're in this top tier, in a sense, you're the same as a top tier athlete that's playing baseball. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but
head.
does a video gamer? Well, okay, no, this is a different debate because I guess I wouldn't agree that, you know, an athlete would deserve it either. But, like, you know, I don't really want to see it get to the point where video gamers are paid $65 million a year.
Oh shit, that's a lot of money.
You know what I mean? Or, you know, I don't know. I'm just pulling numbers out. I don't know what athletes actually make. I know, you know, that's probably like a 10-year contract. But still, even so, like, I wouldn't want to see somebody getting paid $65 million over 10 years to play a video game. But I also agree with that on a sports level too. Like, you know, to me, just a lot of stuff gets overhyped that way. And I'm not saying, you know, that they're not good at their art. I'm just, I don't know how to describe it properly.
I can agree with that in terms of, and not that, like, they shouldn't be paid that. I don't really care if someone wants to pay someone that amount of money. Fucking, I don't give a shit. But I agree with the sentiment. Like, yeah, if they're all equal. You know, if somebody wants to pay this guy, whatever, $3.4 million over 2 years or something along the lines to sit there and play Overwatch, or you want to pay this guy down the street $3.4 million over 2 years to play shortstop in the minor leagues or some shit, same amount of respect in my head.
So, just so you know, like the top player in the world, like esports player, over his lifetime, however long that was playing, has earned almost 3.5 million.
Oh, wow. That's actually less than I expected by a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not that much.
Never mind. I guess that might be in the quiz, so I won't ask.
This is also still like
It's
super
not.
infant stage for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And most of that money, obviously they get sponsorships, but this is only, I don't know if this includes that. I think it's just
Prize money.
like the tournament prize money.
Okay. Yeah, but still, like, I mean, that's still lower than I expected, to be honest. But
yeah, no. Back to what you were saying with the personality thing. I would much, and this applies to any type of game. I would much rather watch somebody who's playing a game, totally sucks at it, even if they've died 75 times in a row, if they're fun and engaging, versus somebody who's just blowing through the game at perfect speeds and is a complete asshole.
Now, I agree with you entirely, and I think that they need a good ambassador. Somebody, that's what I kept. That's why I said the Michael Jordan comment, because I feel like, you know, I want somebody who's really good at the game, but also really entertaining. So, like, basically, when you watch football, 9 times out of 10, not for everybody, but at least in the circles that I've run in on this one, when you talk about football, a lot of times you'll address the team and the quarterback.
Tom Brady.
Well, you will address the quarterback for the team, and you'll, like, as like the face of the team, right? Like, you kind of associate the team and the quarterback. So, like, same sort of thing in esports, whereas, like, I want them to kind of like have a professional.
Though, like,
well, it can, but that's what I'm saying. It creates like personalities and conflicts and drama and everything else that drives it forward. Now, like, for like if I were to see somebody who's mechanically good, but they just look like like they just rolled out of bed and they're just, you know, they're just out there playing and they're like, okay, see you. Like that to me kills it. Like, even if they are mechanically good, that just kills it for me, because I'm like, you didn't even
disagree with you.
Like, you know,
I disagree with you.
No,
I disagree with you. If I'm looking for them and I want them to, like, if I'm watching a stream, I'll put it this way. If I'm watching a stream, and I'll point back to what Michelle was saying earlier too, where she was saying, I ran right over some words there for a second. If I'm watching a stream and the guy's an absolute asshole, but he's the fastest asshole that's ever beat Halo 2.
Yeah.
I can't watch him. But that's if he's talking. If he doesn't talk and literally just plays the game, I'm happy again. That's all I want. Or, I'm going through and watching this girl over here.
I was assuming in both situations this is somebody who's constantly talking.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going with, where if it's this person's an asshole and they're destroying this game or they're destroying PvP, whatever it is, they're just really great at what they're doing and they're talking constantly and I have to listen to them. No, I'm out. I don't want to do
Don't
this.
think about it in terms of streaming, though. Think about it in terms of professional esports, meaning that you're.
I'm getting there. You didn't let me finish.
Sorry, I thought I did.
So back to streaming. You go through and the person's playing and they're not talking. I don't have to listen to them talk. They're focusing on the gameplay. Like no face cams, nothing. Even if it's some whatever, that's fine. So when you take that to esports, if you have some commentator over the top talking and whatnot, that's fine. You're just showing the gameplay. That's fine. Doesn't bother me. But if you start hearing the guy talk like an asshole, you're like, well, fuck, I don't want to watch this guy anymore. Just take him off the camera. And I don't care if he looks like he literally just rolled out of bed. You sit there and you know how they always have it. Whenever they're coming on to anybody that's watching sports, they like slug onto the stage as a group of 4 to 6 people all at the same time. They're like, oh, and here's team butt crack. And they all slug on. If they all come out in gym shorts and like cut off tees that look like they haven't been washed in 3 days and like, sweatpants and their hair's all messed up and they sit there and they don't look happy at all, but they just get down, sit down, and then they don't focus on them. Sure, maybe they show reaction shots because they're just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you sit there and I get to watch their gameplay and they are just tearing up the other team. I don't give one shit that that's their presentation. Like that doesn't bother me at all. And it has absolutely no effect on me. I don't want a personality. I'm watching because of their skill. I'm not watching because I think they're the best person in the world.
But it won't for me, it won't keep me coming back. Like you just, if I watch somebody who's like, oh man, I'm super good and make a sweet headshot, but then afterward in the game interview, they're like, I farted. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just get up there and they're just like, they're awful at like, they have bad presentation, they have bad everything about them. Like there's like, I can't get behind them and be like, hell yeah, dude, you did so great. I'd be like, oh, God, this is another bad representation of esports.
Nope,
I want them to be dynamic. They need to be.
All right, guys, I think we have enough on this conversation. There's only one way to fucking
and
settle
this. Is it with a quiz?
That is with a quiz. Before we turn into a 3-hour-long podcast
again.
Burke's got a hot date tonight.
Oh, I do. Well, yes, my puppy. All right, question number 1.
What's turn? I was gonna
and
say
the order
what's
tonight
turn
is Craig, Brian, and Michelle. So sorry, Craig. You get a couple number questions tonight. All right. What is the game in esports which has given out the most prize money?
So we're looking for one specific game, not a series or anything like that, correct?
One specific game.
I'm going to go with League of Legends.
Okay.
I was also going to go say League of Legends.
Dota 2.
And Michelle gets the point with that one. It is Dota 2. League of Legends was second.
We all know that the person that hates esports is going to come away with like a 15 out of 15, right?
Yeah, I know.
She's like, she's
I mean,
like,
I can't
and that was
hate-
She's like, I study what I hate.
I was gonna say, I can't hate what I don't know.
All right. And how much money has been given away so far for Dota 2?
11 million.
Oh God. Total throughout all the years that they've been doing it, 15 million. Why not?
I'm gonna go with 25 million.
Michelle's going to get the point for that one.
How
even though
much?
she was 100 million off.
What?
131 million in all tournaments. It's not just the
No, I know, but like,
it's crazy.
wow.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, I read through a list of like a top 100 esports listed by, money given away and or reward money. And there's quite a few games, obviously 100. But which FPS has given away the most so far?
Again, one single game.
Yes, one single game, one first-person shooter game.
Let's go with Counter-Strike. Global Assault or whatever, Global Offensive or whatever it's called.
Okay.
I want to say it's Halo.
Okay.
Which
which specific Halo?
I think it's Halo 3.
Okay.
You're a bastard. I was going to let it just sit on Halo 1 since he didn't specify, which I know would have been wrong.
I am going to say Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Okay. Craig is actually correct. It is CS:GO. They were number 3 overall. And quite a bit down from Dota 2 at 46 million they've given away, or whatever prize money. Okay. And then this CS:GO is also the most popular game, and it has the most pro players that have made money off of tournaments. How many players are there?
116.
I'm gonna guess 300.
So these are people who are just specifically counted as professional players of CS:GO.
Yeah,
is what you're looking for.
And who have made money in any really major tournament.
I'm gonna say 33 people.
Wow, Brian gets that one. It is actually 9,000 plus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it is. It's the biggest. I think Dota 2 had like 1,000 or so. Yeah.
True story, real quick. It's kind of fun little tangent. I met a kid who was one of my little cousin's friends. So he was about like 10, 11 years old, and his mom was there with this kid, and the kid's mom goes, your little cousin says that or has been telling his little friend here that you play a lot of video games and you're really good. I go, yeah, I'm actually really good at a game called Overwatch. And she says, oh, he just watches nothing but CS:GO, or CS. She goes, do you play that? I'm like, not a day in my life, lady. And she's like, but they're the same thing, right? I'm like, no, they're different games. And then he literally, she introduces me to him as if the kid was going to look at me as if I were some fucking celebrity. And he's like, do you play CS:GO? I'm like, no, shit. It was awful.
That's great. Okay. Now, these next two games I know some of y'all have heard of. So which of these two games has given away more prize money or had more prize earnings in tournaments? Halo 5 or Overwatch?
I'm gonna say Overwatch. I'm just jumping. I don't care.
I'm gonna assume Halo just because they've had more tournaments. They came out a year beforehand, so I'm just gonna say purely just because they've had more time.
I'm gonna go with Overwatch.
It is Overwatch.
Yeah,
by I think $1 million.
That's that loot box money.
That's that loot box money. So, question number 6: in that overall list of 100, 100 games, what was Overwatch's rank for overall money given to tournaments?
11th.
They're probably climbing pretty high. So actually, I'm gonna say that they're number 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with 15.
All right, I'm just gonna give it to Craig because Halo 5 was 11. So, so Overwatch was 10.
Okay.
So they were ranked 10, climbing that list fast. Okay, now we're going to switch gears kind of off of games a little bit. Well, maybe not for long, but what team, you were talking about teams earlier, what team has earned the most money over all games? So, they have teams that are cross-platform, cross-games. So which team?
I'm going to go with Cloud9.
I literally have you're talking about wow.
Yes, Cloud9 is a team. So
Philadelphia Fusion. I don't fucking know. I got nothing on this.
I wanted to say Cloud9, but I'm gonna go with my other one, TSM.
No. It was Team Liquid.
Yeah, I've heard that. Heard that in 9 different
and then
leagues.
Followed closely by Evil Geniuses. So.
See, I'd like Evil Geniuses name.
Yes, I do too. Yeah.
Do you know where Cloud9 sits in that?
I might be able to find out. Give me a second. I'm on the website.
Cloud9 and Optic were the only two that I could come up with off the top of my head.
13 was Cloud9. Optic is 19.
Well, that was top 20. What do you know?
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Question number 7. Oh, wait, that's the one I just asked. And question number 8 is, when was the earliest video game tournament held? So what year? And if you want to get specific, what date?
1981.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take
No,
yours.
1978.
Okay.
1973.
Ooh, Michelle almost hits it on the head. It was 72. 1972. And
I knew Pong came out in 72, but I was like, I was going to give it like a year before they created a tournament.
Okay. All right. So what game was it? And it wasn't Pong.
And it was not Pong, you said?
Yes. So what was the game? And guess, I'll give you an extra point if you can even guess the venue or where it was hosted. I wouldn't call it a venue. Let's go where it was hosted.
Let's go with Tetris, and we'll say at Twin Galaxies.
I want to say Frogger at a round one.
Both those games came out in the 80s.
Eat me.
73. I am going to say Asteroids and in a pizza parlor.
I like that guess. It was Space War. Don't know what the game was. And it was hosted at Stanford University.
I was close to saying MIT.
Yeah.
But
That's
that would have been opposite
right
side
there.
of the country, but it was at least higher
I would have
education.
given you a university. I almost said what university. I probably should have. But anyways, and the winner. Anyone want to guess what it was for just shits and giggles?
Like what the prize
Yeah,
was, or who was the winner?
What the prize was?
Free pizza from the pizza parlor Michelle thought that the place was at.
I like
Free
that.
tuition for a year.
Okay.
I'm going to say
right.
$25.
I'm giving half a point to Craig. I really like Brian's answer though. That was ridiculous. It was a year subscription to Rolling Stone magazine.
That's the gift that keeps on giving all year round.
$3.99 in average value.
I know. I didn't even write that down. I just remembered that. I was like, that's so okay. Yeah. All right. Question number 9. What decade did esports take off in?
I'm gonna go the aughts.
Okay.
No, you know what? I'm gonna say that it took off in the 90s.
Okay.
Wait, 90s, but 90s.
2010s.
Okay. Craig actually gets the point. Like, it is actually considered like 2006 because they actually had some shows on TV and whatnot around then. Okay. I found this fact really interesting. Which future Olympics are talking about including esports in
South Korea.
to grab a younger audience? So I'm fine with what year and the country.
The answer is South Korea, and it's whatever year they fucking have the Olympics. So
Go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, you know this. Okay, so hold on, what year is it? The next Olympics are 2020. So I'm going to say 2024. I don't know what city, but I'm going with that year.
Okay.
I thought it was 2020 Japan.
Michelle will get the whole point. It is 2024 Paris.
Nah.
Yep.
I knew it was one of the next one. I thought it was
Paris?
the next one.
Yeah.
wait, Paris?
Yeah.
The French care about video games?
You do know that the Olympics are teams from all over the world, right? Like,
It's like a worldwide committee.
But
It's
they
not
get to
just
pick the venue.
You know,
I mean, they're the venue, and they're the ones that are going to host the first video game thing. Like what?
Well, they're not. It's
blows my
in discussion.
mind.
It's not.
I don't think the French are the ones who are like,
Yeah.
we need video games.
pretty
I think
sure
the whole
it's
community.
that the years and cities have just been predetermined, and that one just happens to be when they're like, hey, we should incorporate this.
They got to be like, "Sacre bleu, this is terrible. I will drink wine and flip off Americans." I spend a lot of time with French people.
And other countries wonder why we hate other countries.
Hey,
or why,
look,
and we wonder why other
That's a
countries hate
direct
us.
quote
Excuse
from Beauty
me.
and the Beast, okay?
It's the French.
Right, they're not going to listen to this. You're right.
I mean,
Joke's on you. No one listens to it.
let's go consult the British too. The French. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're gonna stop there.
There it is.
All right. Question number 11. In what year did the viewership of the League of Legends Championship double That of the World Series and the NBA Finals.
When were the shitty World Series? Aside from the ones where the Tigers got blown the fuck out. When was the World Series shitty? 2012, 2013, 2013.
Okay.
I'll say
2011.
2015.
Craig hits it on the head at 2013. Great
the only
callback.
reason I know that is just because I just knew how shitty that World Series was. It was St. Louis and the Red Sox, and everyone fucking hated both those teams that year.
Yep.
So it was
Why did they hate them?
Because fuck the Cardinals.
Well, no, I mean, honestly,
that's coming from a Houston.
was
the
it the personalities of the teams?
The Cardinals are largely thought of, their fan base is largely thought of like the Yankees of the Midwest, where they just think they're hot shit like all the time. That's the general thought process.
So
that's
like
the stereotype
drama of like players, and like now that you know about them, even though they're mechanically the best,
Brian,
they
your point's invalid. Stop.
You didn't hear me. The people hate the fan base, so they didn't watch the team.
Same thing.
No. Okay. No.
Same ballpark.
And it's the same thing on the others. Not the same exact thing, but people just don't like
If Brian
Boston in
keeps
general
arguing,
because they
take
won
2
a lot.
points off his score.
First off, I made a pun. Same ballpark. First off, but okay.
Second of all, you should take off the 2 points regardless because he's Brian.
Hey, little rude.
We know Mike would.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we know Mike would. But
All right. Question number 12. How many people attended the League of Legend Championship in 2014? So the next year, attended in person.
So we're saying
Attended is in person?
Yeah, in person. And
okay, so not like the amount of people playing.
No, yeah, the people who
I
who
just wanna
showed
make
up
sure.
and watched, and it was hosted in the 2002 World Cup semifinal arena.
Is this a 1 day thing or a multi-day thing? Can you tell us that?
No, to be
I'm
honest.
pretty sure it's multi-day.
Is it multi-day?
But I don't. This is not including like Twitch viewers or
No,
anything,
no,
right?
this is just people.
No,
who,
it's not.
I think let's call it the last day championship round, because that's going to happen in 1 day. Let's call it that game. How many people were in attendance?
I'm going to say 60,000.
I'm gonna say 25,000.
I'm going to go with 70,000.
How much did you say, Brian?
25.
Oh, Brian wins it by 5,000. It was actually 40,000 people attended. And
There it is.
I literally took the average like football stadium in my head and went, okay, what's like 3/4 of that? Just because that's where the stage would have to sit.
Yep. All right. Question number 13. Which country is considered the leader in esports development?
South Korea.
Restate the question. I'm sorry.
Which country is considered the leader in like esports development?
Yeah, I'd probably say South Korea.
United States.
Okay. Brian and Craig are correct. It is South Korea. Even though now that North America is getting involved, more money pools becoming involved. But yeah. All right. My last question, and it doesn't really have a right answer, but should esports be considered a real sport?
I've already touched on this, but
yeah.
Yes, I completely think they should be considered a real sport.
Okay.
I think the time and dedication that you have to put into it is just like any other athlete in my head. Yes, it's not maybe the same type of physical exertion, but if my other point is if chess is considered a sport, like obviously there's a massive mental aspect of it as well. Like you're trying to outthink your opponent, and there is the physical like aiming, or a lot of the games have different physical aspects of that, twitch aiming and whatever in that sense. So I think, yeah, in every respect, it should be considered a sport.
I think that it should be classified equal to a sport, but maybe get a different name than calling it a sport. Only because of the fact that it has a stigma with it, and because of that, I think it needs to overcome that by just shifting the name. You can call it competition, you can call it challenge, you can call it anything you want, you can call it, the gaming, whatever, but like calling it an e-sport, I think is a bad idea. So technically, do I think it should be qualified as an e-sport? No, but I feel like it should equal out as far as the respect as, for sports in general, because they have their own sets of challenges. I just feel like the naming convention's shit.
Okay.
I agree with Craig. He pretty much reworded what we had said earlier. So.
Yep. Okay. All right. Fair enough. I just asked that. No points,
Sure.
but it was just one of those. I wanted to make sure we touched on that, and because the debate's still going on out there, and like,
Yeah.
when these people make 300 decisions in a minute, and react on that shit, yeah, it's crazy. They're crazy fast. All right, anyways. So totals tonight. Let's go with Craig wins with 6.5 points.
Yeah, I figured that one.
Michelle comes in second with 5. Good job, Michelle. And Brian comes in last because he got -2 points for arguing too much with 2.
Arguing too much bullshit.
I mean, to be fair, according to that math, you still would have lost, so it didn't matter.
It didn't.
I know I would have lost. I know that part, but I'm over here trying to help esports, and you guys are being rude. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I'm over here trying to help.
Nah, you're not helping. You're hurting everything. You're trying to turn everything into American Idol.
Well, people watch American Idol.
I'm sorry. Where is it on the air?
It's back on.
I would say more people.
It's been gone for 2 years because no one fucking watched it anymore. They're bringing it back. And it's going to be a shit show again. I'm not saying they're making a great decision, but if you go through and you try and find the local listing for American Idol, now guess who's not on it? Nobody, because it's not airing right now.
Well, no, I think that we all agree though about like our respect for the people who play the game. I just, as I said, I just like to. I want to see them succeed. Is what I'm saying, and that was just my opinion as to how I thought they could succeed. And now I think Michelle is the real one between the two. And Craig and I argued back and forth, but I think Michelle's the one who needs to tell us how can esports truly become the next great thing? How could it take over American football as America's #1 watch thing? Go ahead, Michelle, lay it on us.
When Team Unbelievable gets dunked on.
Lock it up! Headshot! Headshot! Unstoppable! I am the master chief! No one can mess with me! Saving the world from catastrophe! Unleashing PXIs and killing space!
That'll do it. that'll draw in those viewers. God dang it.
I was gonna say like when esports equally don't care about their players' health and just let them get concussions without repercussions.
That's the one. That's the one. Absolutely.
That was awesome.
In all seriousness, that was the hardest part about watching the Overwatch League is that literally nobody's likable. Like from any team, like they're all like personality-less. Like they're all just blank cardboard people, and I'm like, ugh, like I can't get behind any team. I tried to look for someone to root for, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, but you're very presentation focused on that kind of stuff.
And for me,
visual
like,
focused. Again, this comes down to the visuals and the feel of it versus like how I do it. It's the mechanical part is what I see and what I.
Yeah.
It's the heart when I was born. You gotta feel with the heart.
Like I wouldn't make this point, but I'll talk too long and argue back and forth. It was like because there was a Houston team, and I was like, I like the colors. I was like, okay, that's cool. I would if like when we were watching last week or whatever, I was like, if they were on, I probably would have kept that up. But would I have cared? No.
Right, and I think that nobody can care unless you have some sort of investment, which is why I'm always like, that's why I wanted to bring it up on this thing, because I knew that was the biggest problem for me.
Catastrophe! Unstoppable, they kill me!